Okay, this will just be a quick 10-minute video showing you how to draw some different structures in SkyCiv, and more specifically some of the more advanced stuff that you can do um, with the z-axis and drawing a three-dimensional structure. So let's get into it. First of all, you need to add your nodes before you can do your members. So I've got part of a very simple Warren truss structure drawn here. I obviously need to complete it there. It does use the Cartesian coordinate system. So you can see that the x-axis goes in this direction, the y-axis is up and down, and the z-axis is actually out of the page. You can change your views there if you want to see just in the x and y plane, or I can go top to see x and z. I can see so far I've only drawn in the xy plane anyway. So let's leave that on a slight isometric view. So if I need to add an extra node down here, I need to know what coordinate that is at. So I've got 0, 0, 0, so that's at the origin for node 1. Node 2 is at 1, 0, 0, so just moving up in the x-axis because it's x, y, z. 2, 0, 0, 3, 0, 0, so I want one here at 4, 0, 0. So I'm going to go to my node menu, and my x position is going to be 4, my y position 0, my z position is 0, and I can hit apply or just hit enter. And there's my next node. I can continue doing this if I wish. So 3.5, if I wanted to put one here, my x position would be 4.5, my y position would be 1. So I can do that, 4.5, 1, 0, and there we go. If I want to select a node to either modify it or remove it, I can do that in this menu, in my node menu here. So I can select the node that I'm actually interested in, and it will highlight it here. Or alternatively, I can just simply click on the node and it will automatically select it for me. You can see it says node 10, and then I can hit delete, or I can just use the delete button on my keyboard, or the backspace button as well. It'll give you a little message saying that if you delete it, it will remove everything, and that is fine. Remove everything that's attached to it. So let's just stop here for my structure. In terms of drawing in members, the easiest way to do this is to just get your mouse and just connect the two nodes that you wish to. That will use default settings, which is fine for our purposes, but just to show you what's going on with that, if I go into my members menu, I can actually specify the nodes that I want to connect. So if I want to connect nodes 9 and 10 now, I can, nodes 9 and 5 that would be, I can type in 9 and 5 here. It does specify section ID, which I'll do another video on, and then there's node fixity, which actually for custom, that's fine, that default is going to be what we use. If you do happen to click truss, you'll notice it changes to FFFFRR, so that implies that there's a rolling aspect or it allows to move freely for truss structures. So typical truss structures do use pins between their members, and that just allows them to flex a little bit when under load, whereas frames are completely fixed. We'll be using super glue / hot glue guns / PVA glue, so we will be having a completely fixed joint anyway in our spaghetti bridges, so leaving that as completely fixed is not a problem. So let's just add in my final member here, node 5 to node 9, and hit apply, and there's my final member. Now, if I am wanting to repeat this structure, I've gone to the effort of drawing it once, and I want to repeat it out here in the z-axis, so that I can get a three-dimensional bridge. There is a very quick way of doing that. If I go back into my nodes menu, I can hit this button up here that says open datasheet. Now this is an option for you in terms of just entering your nodes. You can actually enter data directly into here. So if I wanted to put that other node back, I could go 4.5, 1, and 0. Those are my X, Y, Z coordinates. Hit apply, and you'll see there it is, it's back again. Similarly, I can select that, it highlights this row for me, I hit delete or backspace, hit apply again, and it's gone. So that's another option, but I'm going to use this now to repeat my structure. So I can select the nodes that are already in there, and you may have a much more complicated structure than this, but that's fine. You press Control C to copy it, select a cell down here, Control V to paste, and there you have it. It doesn't matter how complex your structure it is or how many nodes you may have, you can just copy and paste them all down there. Now if I hit apply on that, there'll be two problems. One problem is that the ID is repeated, and you can't actually have the same ID more than once. It would sort of make the whole point of identifying your nodes redundant. So hit delete on all of those repeated numbers, just select them and delete them and leave them blank, and the program will actually automatically assign the numbers for you. If I hit apply again, it's automatically filled in those numbers, which is great. The other problem I have is that I have the same coordinates repeated 2 times, so it won't allow me to put a node where a node already exists. I already have a node at 0, 0, 0. I can't put another node at 0, 0, 0. So what I'm trying to do though is copy this structure. I don't want it pasted exactly in the same location. I actually want it pasted in front down here somewhere. So I need some Z value to specify that. So what I'm going to do is from here onwards, which is where my numbers repeat, I'm just going to change my Z value to something that's appropriate. I'm just going to make it 1, 1, 1, 1, 1 all the way down. So that means my coordinate for this node number 10 is 0, 0, but 1 in the Z direction. If I hit apply on that, there we have it. I now have all of those nodes repeated, but they are out here in this Z direction. So yeah, it's quite a handy feature of the software to be able to edit your data in here, and nice easy way to copy and repeat. Obviously you'll use values that are appropriate to the distances that you're actually considering in your spaghetti bridge. Now, how do I repeat the members? I'm going to do something very similar. So if I go into members, I can open this data sheet here for the members. Slightly more complex data sheet. So the member ID, and then member number 1 goes between node 1 and node 6. I can see that right here, member number 1 between node 1 and node 6. So what I need to do is I need to work out what numbers should be down here. What numbers do I need to repeat? So I need to go between 10 and 15, 15 and 11, but I don't want to have to type all these in by hand, especially if I've done that once and I have a really, really large complex structure. So can I find some way of finding a pattern and repeating that formula? And so what you'll notice is because I had 9 nodes initially, if I add 9 to each of these existing nodes, I'll actually get my new nodes. So node 1's equivalent is node 10, which is plus 9. 1 plus 9 is 10. The equivalent of node 6 is 15. 6 plus 9 is 15. Equivalent of node 9 is 18, and so on. So I'm going to use Excel to help me with this, and a really handy feature of SkyCiv is that I can copy and paste data directly to and from Excel. So I'm going to start by selecting all of this data using Control A, which selects all, and Control C to copy it. Let's open Excel. We want a new book, and I'm going to paste my data into there. Now remember, the first column was the member ID, and then the second and third column specified which nodes to go between for that particular member. So the member ID, I actually want to just continue down. I currently have 15 members, 16 is a blank one. I have 15 members, so I want to continue that down. I want to double it. I'm going to go all the way down to 30 members. Okay, so I did that just by highlighting a few cells. Excel picks up the pattern, and then you can drag that down and it automatically calculates those numbers for me. Now, this is the bit that I'm really interested in. How do I specify which node? Now, I remember that I was adding 9 to each of these values. So this node was node 10, and this node was node 15. But I'm going to use Excel formulas to do that. So I'm going to say equals. I'm going to select my cell up here, which is the equivalent node. I'm going to go plus 9. All right. That has calculated 10 for me. I can drag that across, and it's calculated 15 for me, which is 6 plus 9. And now I'm going to select both of these and drag that all the way down to member number 30. And that's automatically calculated the equivalent nodes for me. In terms of this data here, we're not changing the fixity or any of these things here. So I'm just going to select one row of that and drag it down, and Excel will just copy that down for me all the way. Beautiful. Now, I can either select all of this data and paste it over top of the existing data in SkyCiv, or I can just select the new data, which is from member number 16 onwards. So let's do that. Control C to copy, and back into SkyCiv. Down here, I want to paste that data. Alright, so a quick inspection to check that it's all gone right. I should have a total of 30 members, which is double what I initially had, which was down to 15. And I can see that the numbers start getting bigger around about here. This is my new node, which I didn't currently go up to. So 10 to 15. My last one is 18 to 14, which also works here. So if I hit apply, there we go. There is my repeated structure. So that's a couple of ways that you can draw in SkyCiv. Sometimes you can be a little bit clever about that and take some shortcuts using the power of Excel. You do need to connect your bridges, so you can either work out some formulas for that as well, use your spreadsheet data, or you can just directly draw in using your mouse to connect these, and you might want to do some bracing structures there as well. So that's up to you in terms of how you design your bridge. Make sure that the numbers are all correct specifications, and please make sure that you watch the next video, which will be about assigning section numbers. Alright, hopefully this helped out. See you later.